Hello, kidney warriors. James here from Dadvice TV, your online kidney health coach, and this is Dadvice TV. Now, tonight we have a great, inspiring story that you are not going to want to miss with Justin and his husband, Michael, who had to face a number of challenges, make some difficult decisions, but they got right through it and they decided, you know what? We are going to do the most we can to enjoy life and make the most out of life going forward. So let's go ahead and jump right on in and introduce my two guests today, Michael and Justin. Hey there, guys. How you doing?
Hey, hi, James. Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you.
I'm Justin. And
Michael. Hi.
We're happy to be here today.
All righty. And let's get you right here on the screen. Perfect. You guys fit awesome. That is great. Now, Justin, what is your kidney story?
Oh, boy. So this is a definite interesting one. I actually will start. First of all, I'm 25 years into a list of chronic conditions, but the kidney story to start off, I recall it was in 2011. It's quite interesting. And I was gardening a lot and I was very active at that time. With going out and about and gardening as much as I could for exercise and such. And I got ill. I didn't know if it was like this flu or it just was wretchedly crippling. And I went to the emergency room and they didn't know what it was. They were running tests for everything under the sun. And it turns out they had a specialist come in and I had the strangest thing from gardening. I had, I guess, mold in my blood or something peculiar like that. But they treated that, but here's the good news. They did a CT scan and guess to my surprise what they found out. I had kidney cancer. So, oh joy. And immediately a urologist came in and they tended to it rather quickly. And that was actually a blessing in disguise because from what I understand, it would just progress and you wouldn't really have symptoms or know about it. So I really don't know if that mold, I consider that my precious gift of life. Yes. Because I was able to tend to it. And that was 2011. And it was luckily heavily monitored. And I went to the urologist and they, did CT scans accordingly and testing. And then unfortunately, I got a second tumor in 2014 and tended to that. And then 2016 back for a third time, same urologist, luckily enough. And he said, okay, sorry, but the right kidney's coming out all the way because they would just hunt for the tumors previously. And so they actually removed the entire kidney. And of course, to this day, they still monitor along with my other things, which I'll get into if you'd like to know those as well. So actually CT scans, you're not supposed to just go out and take them for fun, but in this world we live in of modern technology, I know they've been around for a while, but thank goodness something like that exists. So I'm very thankful to that.
Yeah. And it is great that they discovered that while you were in there for the other issue. Now, are there any concerns of the cancer going to your other kidney, the one you still have, the remaining kidney?
They do check that, luckily. So because of catching it as they did, they've always been on top of it. And I do CT scan regularly as well for another issue. So they're always inclusive of getting that zone as well. So I guess sometimes I feel lit up so much over the years to put a light bulb in my mouth and the thing should glow.
Welcome to Vegas, right?
So
I love your positive attitude, which is excellent.
Thank you. I've actually in the past had a doctor tell me that when I had changed to a doctor that I was taking too many CT scans and they were trying to reduce them and such, but I guess there could be too many, which I'm sure some of your people out there, especially the doctors, would be against, but I'm just thankful they exist. So whenever they're ready to check, I'm just like, roll me in.
Yeah. Now, all this happened before the pandemic, correct?
Yes, that was 2011, 2014, 2016. So I'm pretty far into that right now. But, if you'd like me, I would be happy to share. Actually, I'm 25 years into chronic conditions. Now, the kidney cancer, I don't know for sure if it is related, but I guess I will call it my main condition is I was diagnosed 25 years ago with polymyositis, which is a very rare condition. It's immune system it wreaks havoc on, but it's also with your skeletal and muscles, and it's very rare. So a lot of people might not know about it. Actually, when I met Michael, I obviously had it, and Michael's all, "You have polymyositis," and so that's what we jokingly call polymyositis.
I never actually thought that's what
I
it
know.
was called.
He's all, to remember it, he's all polymyositis. So, but speaking of, I guess to segue, it did come in like a wrecking ball.
Wrecking ball. There we go.
Yes, got that segue in. 25 years ago, that's its own sad story. I was just turning 30 and very active then, and boom, it hit. I couldn't lift anything. I'm talking an overnight onset. I lost 40 pounds in a month. And talk about rare disease, the doctors, they had to do a biopsy to finally know what it was. I kept going back to emergency room because I couldn't lift my head from a pillow. I couldn't hold a can of soda. My hands would drop. It affects, your trunk at the beginning. It's more common in women, of course, I've researched, because I think my theory is a lot of men won't admit defeat. That's a lot of men, if there's a problem, they won't go to the doctor. And, sadly.
That was me when I was younger. Everything, I was like, I'll work my way through it. I was not a big fan of doctors. Now my life is different, and it's all doctors.
Exactly. So that's what I tell anybody. If you have, especially men out there, reach out to the men. Don't be afraid to go to the doctor. I know women instinctively go to doctors if they have something wrong, but men, please go to the doctors and get all your checks. I have a different story. I inspired one of my friends who found colon cancer because he was inspired by my doctor's story. So that's why I want to inspire other men out there. Go out and get tested and check you check your car. Probably most men check your body too, and get your oil change and such. Don't be afraid of that. So I tell people all that, every chance I get. But my polymyositis hit me, like I said, I was just turning 30, and it just, boom, life changed instantly. And when they put you, after the biopsy, they put you on medication, which is prednisone, which I've been on 25 years. And that's not fun, but you put on a lot of weight at the beginning, and then other medications. So possibly cancer is a side effect to that later on, since, so I thought, they don't know for sure, but that could have played a role in the kidney cancer, unfortunately. But it's not, I guess they can't pinpoint for sure, but a possibility of that. And such. And then, of course, from that, other conditions come as the years go by, and you're very proud to reach the milestone of, like, in your mind, living a lot longer than you thought. So you kind of take everything, and you just have to be blessed and feel that you're lucky to be here. So you just take everything with a positive attitude, whatever comes your way, and fight it and battle it and deal with it, because you only get one, and make the best of it.
Yes.
Exactly. Now, you've got another challenging problem with your lungs, correct?
Correct. And once again, this is a situation in 2016. So the original one, we're going back to 1999 or so. So the kidney cancer came, as I mentioned, 2011, 2014, 2016. And 2016 was also another year that they discovered something else, because I kept having a chronic cough coming up. I didn't notice. It just happened. And then they did do once again, the lovely CT scan, bless them, found some, things going on in the lung, and of course, which is lung scar. And I have interstitial lung disease, and that comes, unfortunately, it's a progression possibly from the polymyositis. I never smoked, so I'm not a smoker. Instantly, when you say anything about lung disease of any kind, everybody's like, oh, you're a smoker or whatever. So I like to get across, of course, when I was young, probably exposed to secondhand, so who really knows, the things that accumulate to make these things happen. But research shows that possibly, once again, could come off of the progression of having polymyositis.
Yeah. So that probably made, when the pandemic came and everyone needed to mask up and be careful, it sounds like you were probably even more vulnerable with only a single kidney, ILD. So what was
I remember
that
the
like?
day, I think March 11th, for some reason, 2020 comes to mind, the magic day. I remember speaking with my specialist and seeing everything going on. They were like, stay isolated, because I was very fragile at the time. I've always been fragile. Anybody with conditions, especially immune system weakened from medications. and such, you're always prone to get colds easily.
Yeah.
You know, really can't be around a lot of school-aged children. You can really pick up everything quickly, colds, flus. And if your system's weakened, like unfortunately, if I get a flu or something, knock on wood, it lasts a lot longer and you get your flu shots, of course. But anything that a normal person, like if Michael happens to get a cold with bronchitis, it's going to last me 2 or 3 weeks, sadly. And I could miss holidays because of that. So I try to always, to this day, stay away, you know, from situations. But during the pandemic, we pretty much isolated.
I will say it was like it was kind of like we were living in a Stephen King novel.
It
we
wasn't
locked
real.
the doors of our house and didn't
let anyone in, and we were scared. And of course, they had at that time groceries delivered to your trunk from ordering online, and we got used to that. And actually, it was the process. Actually, something clicked, like a lot of people out there, something clicked in my brain, and I was like so scared. And you're seeing the terrible things going on in the world, and it really was, mortality comes to mind, and you're really afraid. So that was a time in our life and he stayed in isolation with me, of course, because Michael didn't want to catch anything and pass it to me. And we were, at that time, I mean, if you remember, you were afraid of, if you get food from somewhere, is it contaminated? So it was very strange, and washing down any food that came from the trunk of the grocery. So it was just, we were extra phobic and extra crazy.
The stocks on soap probably skyrocketed during that time.
Yes, it was actually the scariest time. And that inspired us, you know, after when travel was lifted and everything, we were inspired to live life to the fullest, because that scared me. Here I was always in my mind, like before I met Michael, you know, I didn't know at first, do I have, you don't want to do Dr. Google. You don't want to look at your condition.
100% agree.
Because if you look of anything you have, there's different forms and levels, and the internet tells you the doom and gloom, and, you know, it's helpful to a point. And I know that specialists and doctors don't like when you visit Google and come in with, you know, your own assumption of, if that way we sneeze and think we're all going to pass in a week or something.
Neither do husbands. Husbands don't like it when you do Dr. Google.
I was doing the Google too much, and then I learned my lesson. I'm like, let's speak to the specialist, because you could be slightly off of, there's different variations of levels of, you know, your condition, and you're not in that category, and you're reading some horrible symptom and scenario for something worse than luckily you're not in. So that's bad advice. I'm sure a lot of your viewers know to stay away from Google for trying to self-diagnose.
We talk about that all the time. No Dr. Google, no nurse Facebook.
Exactly. Great advice. You always have the best advice on your channel, by the way, James, and I know your viewers love you for that.
And I definitely understand the when the pandemic started, you start thinking about mortality. I was in the same boat. That was shortly after I was diagnosed with kidney failure. I was working hard to try to avoid going on dialysis because I was very active. I traveled. I was up on stage, moving and jumping around. And I thought dialysis will take all that away from me. And I didn't want to give that up. And I had so many plans for my future, traveling and seeing places that I saw when I was kids and other places that I hadn't seen yet. But I was very worried that getting COVID, what would the impact be as someone with kidney failure? And you had not only living with a single kidney, but also your lungs, where it had a direct impact. So I could definitely understand the fear, and especially in the beginning, we didn't know much about it. And I remember the TV shows, the giant freezer trucks outside the hospitals of people who unfortunately it got them.
It was sad time.
Now, you told me earlier kind of a little bit of a funny story. You guys were on a television show.
Yes, it actually aired during pandemic lockdown, but we had filmed it, and it was done before. We were on House Hunters on HGTV, that popular show, and we loved that experience. It was a lot of fun.
It is very funny because I'd never done anything like that before. Justin had
a past,
and he had told me, oh, well, when this comes out, everybody will know you. We'll be walking down the street and you'll get stopped. Well, that didn't happen that way because it came out during COVID.
Right at the height of the pandemic.
Nobody saw us without masks.
They had high viewership, but a funny thing is we did end up venturing out to the bank or something. And
we were wearing
like
these huge
the ATM
masks with
goggles, and in the car, and then there was somebody like, they're all, I like got it was the walk-up ATM, and so I got Michael. By the way, Michael has a mobility issue. I was going to say got his walker out. So Michael actually has a mobility issue. It's not how we met, but we both do have conditions.
This person knew it was me.
Michael has strumple. What is it?
I have Strumple-Lorraine syndrome, not to be confused with Quiche-Lorraine. It's nowhere near as delectable.
But he has a condition since childhood. So Michael has a severe mobility issue and uses a rolling walker. So that's where I was going, because I got that out of the trunk. And I guess the viewer from HGTV recognized that. And then the two of us, and here we are like apocalyptic zombies, all wrapped up, going to the ATM, and the gentleman masked as well. Did I see you on HGTV?
And you almost wanted to do this like Darth Vader thing, like,
yeah, so here we are. I think he saw our eyeballs, but he did recognize us probably because Michael's Walker. But that was our funny story where I go, Michael, you got recognized right after it aired. But that was a funny time. But it's in archival repeats. So to this day, some people still go, oh, hey, HGTV.
Yep.
Which is
well, I'm going to definitely have to check it out because I did not know that existed. I can't wait to see it. Now, after the pandemic was over and the travel was lifted, you kind of had a change internally, something that motivated you to change your lives. Tell us about that.
Okay, so during the pandemic, as most people, you're stuck, you can only ride your exercise bike so long or something, or pace your house, or walk in the backyard. If you, at the early part, you're fearing, is it in the air? You're afraid to go outside, if you recall, right at the beginning. So we were watching a lot of YouTube and travel shows and travel and beautiful things, escapism, and, obviously archived things, and just things going on. And we fell in love with the dream of, him like, let's go to Europe and all these dreams. And our dream was to go to Italy. Yes. And it was just so beautiful. It was just, something clicked. We just needed to live, get up and go. And, safely. We were vaccinated. I don't mind sharing. I think I'm on, since the beginning of vaccines allowed, I think where he's joined them with me, we're on, I think, my 7th dose. So, wow, we're pretty far in now. It's funny to count that many. So we stay actively vaccinated, and we still use masks when we're on planes.
I think the thing was for Justin and I, the pandemic absolutely sucked, but it did open our eyes to the reality that the life we'd had before wasn't really a full life. We'd always felt like we were wanting more.
Don't hold your dreams till later was our theory. Start living now.
Dare to dream.
Like you mentioned, all the horrible things that we would see on the news and the poor people that passed and stuff, the mortality came to mind and everything. So we were inspired to live life to the fullest.
Because a lot of the news things we were seeing at the time, I can remember when people were passing away from it, there were all these, they had plans to do this, plans to do this, plans
family
to do this.
Family stories of people of all ages.
I think Justin and I looked at each other and we're like, let's stop planning and let's start doing.
Yep, that was a definite motivation, a life changer, and we took it to the fullest. And we haven't looked back since, because traveling is very important. It's great for the soul. It's wonderful to experience other cultures, and you're not just in a bubble. And that was the ultimate, living in a bubble. A lot of people, bless their hearts, but there's a lot of people in this world that they're born and raised in a certain town or village, and they really never go venture out, even to some of them, into their biggest metropolis city nearby, and that might be, which is lovely and everything, but there's a world out there, and it's great to experience it and, learn other cultures' ways and stuff, because you feel more alive and in touch. The more people you meet, and, it enhances your life greatly.
Yeah. Now, my regular viewers know that my plans are to learn Italian. I've started. Don't test me on it, though.
That's because Michael's good at it.
So Justin always has this thing. He's always, and I'll tell this story real quick. I can speak Italian mildly well.
Pretty well.
But I can do it when I'm not expected to. Justin likes to put me on the spot because he'll be like, speak Italian. And I'm like,
yeah. So you can do it. You will do it.
Yep. I'm learning it. And my plan is to travel to Italy. And it's most likely, I would say 99% where I want to end up buying a home, a retirement place, where I can live there in my older years, because first of all, great food, great people.
Mediterranean diet.
Exactly. Sure. You got the blue zone and all that. It's like, hey.
Yep. Organic foods just from the grocery store, pretty much. It's surprising how healthy the food is here.
Oh my God.
You're going to love it.
Desire to go and travel to Italy is what led me to finding you guys. You have a YouTube channel, and there were several things that attracted me to it. First, you guys are positive, which I love that, because that's what the world needs. We need lots of positivity. And I was worried, can I get around in Italy? I have bad knees, and stairs and me are not the best friends. And when I watched you guys, you're going all over the place. You're doing things. You're dining out with friends, just having a great time. And I thought, if you guys can do it, I can do it. So that helped inspire me.
Thank you. Glad to hear that.
What inspired you guys to create a YouTube channel and share this new life, this new, thirst for loving life and getting the most out of it with others on YouTube?
Well, we enjoyed, as we mentioned, the HGTV experience and the filming and the many days they film and that whole experience. And I knew Michael probably got, I wouldn't say addicted to it, but it was fun. And I remember some of the producers doing that show, like, oh, you guys should do your own little reality thing on YouTube, and such. So when the opportunity came, we thought, hey, let's show people, because Michael, if you've been to Italy before, sometimes there's we're talking hundreds of years old, not built for, easy mobility, and such. So Michael with the walker was shocking people. He's 42, so he's relatively very strong in his upper arms and stuff. Bless his heart. But he would be, dragging his feet up slowly upstairs, showing people if he has to. He'll sit on his fanny and scooch down the stairs, and that didn't stop him. We thought, let's show people this.
Yeah, I will say, when we first talked about doing the channel, I was a little like, do I want to put myself out there like that? Do I want to do that? And, I think the one thing that really got me saying to myself, yes, is I remember thinking to myself, I wish that there had been somebody that I had seen on YouTube that had the physical disability that was not afraid to show that you can do these things. And I remember thinking to myself, if I could make it a possibility for one person to step outside of what they expect of themselves and what society expects for them, and they push beyond that, then it makes it worth it to me.
And going back to like when I was originally diagnosed, well before I met Michael, I thought I would end up in a wheelchair. Doctors told me I might and everything. So I saw that. So when we first met, we had an instant connection anyway, but I looked at him and he really inspired me, because he's always, since the day I met him, has been very inspirational with his get up and go motivation with using his walker since day one. And he's, had childhood disability. So that helped motivate me, because, mine, I guess a lot of your viewers might know, when you have a chronic conditions outwardly, if you're not using a device or a wheelchair or cane, you're inside feel like you're 100 years old, but, they don't see you necessarily as instantly as someone with using, something to assist them to walk and such. So, so I always really got inspired by him myself. So when it came time to the channel, we talked about together. And when I walk upstairs, that's comedy in itself. I have to stop so much with all of my lungs. And so we're like, let's just share with people. You can do it. Who cares how long it takes to see this stuff? Just get out there and do it at your pace.
And I think he actually said something that's really fascinating right there, because I didn't realize it when we'd started the channel. But now I've kind of noticed it, which is, having the disability that I have, moving at the speed that I move, having to be careful with each step that I take.
Falling sometimes.
There is a benefit to it, which is the fact I'm in this beautiful place. And, most people who walk at a normal pace, they go from point A to point B and they don't pay attention to anything in between. Mm-hmm. And I'm moving at a pace to where I look up and I'm like, oh, look at that building. And even my friends are like, oh, I didn't even see that. They missed it in their
peripheral or whatever. Stop and smell the roses, literally. There's an expression in Italy, piano, piano, slowly, slowly. He gets to enjoy, and then I go at his pace. I walk with him at his pace. So we are noticing a lot more little things that, he's really good at finding coins on the ground.
Hey, very good. There you
go. He sees
Collect
everything.
The money when you find it, people.
Yes. So we notice the most wonderful things, the cobblestones and everything more at the level that a lot of people miss at their fast pace through life. So, no matter what your pace is, find your groove and enjoy it. And that's why we always tell everybody, don't be embarrassed if you're slow. And just get out there and do it there. You can travel and see the world. Don't let anything hold you back. And with airlines assisting people, it's wonderful. You can book with your assistants at whatever level you need it at. You can do it. Don't be afraid to travel.
And I think the last thing I'm going to say here is, we've had a tagline for our channel for a while, and now it's become the title of our channel.
Michael and Justin, Dare to Dream.
Do not ever stop dreaming. Always allow yourself to dream. Always reach for that dream, and always embrace that dream when it comes. Don't let anything hold you back, because life is something we get one of.
And we don't know how long we're here, any of us, and what's around the corner, pandemics or...
Enjoy every moment for the beauty and the miracle that it is.
Yeah, we always say, don't wait for the sky to fall. Just, don't be I can't do this. I can't. A lot of people, sadly, might feel intimidated. They might feel overweight from medications or lack of, proper exercise abilities and such. But, don't let yourself be scared of what others might think. Don't be afraid of what device you use. If you have an oxygen tank, if you just get out there and do your thing, and you live your life for you. You're not rocking the catwalk, in some high fashion show with cameras. Just live your life, and
unless that's your dream.
Unless that's your dream, and you can do that too. But dream, I always say, no, what is no? No is just yes waiting to happen. You know what I mean? So just make life happen and don't let anything stop you. You can have your dream board and make those things happen in reality. If you need to take a dream trip, save up for it the best you can. Plan if you need to go to Paris or, Germany or wherever, Hawaii, you just get on that plane and you do it. Because that, even if you're there for a week or two, that will last a lifetime. And then you'll know, as you age, you'll know you did that. And if that's something that you love, keep doing it. It keeps you alive. It keeps you youthful and your spirit alive and experience the cultures and stuff, because that's part of good health when you're fighting any chronic condition or disease. Don't let it consume you and steal you. Just grab life by the whaties. I almost said it, but just grab life and just go out there and take it and own it. You know what I mean? That's what we tell everybody and like to share.
Yeah.
That is perfect. That pretty much wraps up our, the purpose of our conversation is, and you've got a saying you say it in a lot of your videos: when life gives you lemons, make
limoncello.
Yes,
forget lemonade. And if they don't know, limoncello is a delicious beverage made with lemons. It's a delicious liqueur. So look for it, limoncello, folks. It's quite delicious. But definitely, when life gives you lemons, you make limoncello, and you just enjoy. And, and obviously a lot of your viewers with the medications might not be able to drink, but just have a sip. You got to try it, or have a good lemonade.
Yep. Very, very good.
Live and enjoy every moment.
But dare to dream.
Yeah. And you're going to get your dream, and you're going to love Italy and make your dreams happen. And don't just keep putting them off. You make that dream happen.
Yep. One thing I've learned is life it's not about material things. And my wife, she works in an estate sales company. So people who have passed, she's going in and all their life savings, everything they've collected, there's not much that happens with it in the end. It's the experiences, going out,
Yeah.
taking trips, being with friends, being with family. It's doing things, those memories. Those are the things that make the most impact on you and others. And like you guys said, daring to dream, go out and do it. And everyone out there, if you've been thinking about, hey, I got kidney disease, can I travel? I don't know for sure. Yes, you can. You can do it. Might take a little bit of extra planning, but the food in Italy, for example, amazing.
Wonderful. We go back and forth from obviously U.S. to Italy, and we just look forward to the food. There's farmers markets, daily markets, fresh from the farm, even the grocery store produce. I mean, we all know there's a lot of things that are banned in the EU that are available. Even chicken in the U.S. is not allowed into the EU because they refrain from all chemicals and hormones in the meals, in any of the products and such. So it's a very healthy way of living. A lot of olive oil, especially in the South, you won't find butter used in a lot of the dishes. So it's all that what we all are familiar with, hearing about the Mediterranean diet, a lot of fish, a lot of wonderful, delicious vegetables and fresh meats without chemicals, where you can actually be local and eat local products, and really good wine, direct local without all the, sulfates, it's delicious, wonderful, very affordable. Of course, if you're in your touristy areas up north or in Rome and such, of course, that's a different story. But when you get outside of the tourist zones, you can really live like a king and enjoy great food for a very, very good price. So it's great to travel. Of course, there's always wonderful places in Europe you could visit as well, but we're partial to our favorite.
I think one thing I would like to say is, we live in a world where, especially anybody that's facing any type of medical problem, we live in a world of so much doubt that others may put on us, of doubt that we put on ourselves. God knows I did it. And the reality is, stop. Stop living in doubt. Start living in hope, because that's really the most important thing. And life is for living. Life is not just for wanting. Life is for actually reaching for what you want and experiencing.
And through our YouTube channel, we love the feedback and comments from viewers that, when they say that we've inspired them or to do their, travels and such. And that's makes us really proud of what we do, and very thankful that we chose to do it, because it brings us so much satisfaction. We always say if we could just help one and inspire one person, then it's all worth it, all the hard work. And to inspire many is our goal, because actually that makes who wants to live a life where you're like, oh, how long do I have? Why bother? Complete opposite. Get out there and do things, and you'll be surprised at your body's reaction. Actually, you'll feel better, you'll sparkle, it'll give you a purpose, and it just enhances your life so much and your well-being. And actually, Michael's picked up art and stuff through his travels.
I've seen his paintings. And
and that was a talent he didn't know he had. He just got inspired, and he's a wonderful watercolor artist now and such. And stuff. And that's from getting out there and traveling and being inspired. Things just start your heart just sparkles, I guess, if that makes sense. Getting out there and seeing things that you never thought you might ever do.
Now, for those in our audience who want to follow you guys and see your adventures, seeing you daring to dream and exploring amazing places, what again is the name of your YouTube channel so they can hop over there and subscribe?
You just search YouTube and you put in Michael and Justin Dare to Dream, and we'll come up. And we look forward, if you're kind enough to come and visit us, we look forward to your coming on aboard and joining our YouTube family as well. James, yours is awesome. We love being in your YouTube family, as your viewers do, and it's wonderful. And I know you love all your viewers. And it's wonderful to build YouTube families out there
and create and even with the channel, to create a positive place, to create a place of hope, of dreams, and people coming together and talking about good things. We love it.
And our favorite is answering all the comments. We just love the feedback from the people, because life is about making friends, and even people we haven't met in person and stuff, we love to keep them in our heart as they become friends to us. And, it's just a wonderful experience. We have had so much fun with YouTube and our channel, and we get to meet great people like you, James. Yes. Yay. If it wasn't for YouTube, we wouldn't have the opportunity to meet you, most likely. So
yeah, well, it has been fantastic getting to meet you guys finally in person. We've chatted, I've posted comments, you've replied to comments on your YouTube video. I'm sure YouTube will be back again. I love the positivity. I love, not letting medical challenges and chronic illness hold you back. Just go out there, make the most of it. And you guys are living a wonderful life. So I love to thank you for being here with us. Yep.
James, when you're in Italy, you let us know your trip so we can line our trip.
Oh, I will. Believe me, I will. And Chris, I'm going to go visit all of them.
Oh, fun.
I follow everyone pretty much in southern Italy throughout Calabria. I follow all their YouTube channels and I'm watching their content.
Oh, so cool.
Yeah, and I love it whenever someone has a new video. I'm like, oh, and usually it's early in the morning, and you guys are 6 hours ahead. So you usually post something like dinner time. Here we are with friends. We're enjoying dinner.
Yep.
I go to bed. I wake up and I'm like, there's a new video, and I watch it right away.
Great. Thank you. And we love yours too, James. You're awesome, man. And thank you for what you do out there with the kidney situation. You're really informative database for people to come and enjoy your wonderful
channel.
Thank you for all
the information that you give. It's really important.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you all for watching out there in the audience. Make sure visit their channel. There'll be a link below in the description so you can subscribe to it. Follow along with their adventures. Let them know, what things you see you'd like them to try. They're always having a great time eating delicious, amazing food. And remember, it's a Mediterranean diet, so that's easy to fit into a kidney diet, which makes it awesome. All right. Thank you so much.
And I'll see you all.
Yep, and I'll see all of you in the next video. Bye, everyone.